We are back, and we welcome the longest hitter on the Korn Ferry Tour. His name is Brent Grant. He shares some similarities he has with Rory and tells you exactly where his power comes from.
We're going to jump into stories about cut line struggles, injuries, and what he did to overcome that and get his card.
Well, I want my card. I don't know about you, Michael. We also discuss his doppelgängers. Don't miss those, and we also go rapid fire, of course. Rough Fairways has returned. Let's go.
You there?
Hello.
All good.
What's going on, guys?
In the flesh. Brent Grant, what's up, bud?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, did you shower just for us? Like, did you put on deodorant and everything?
Oh, absolutely. Shower, shave. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Look at you. You are military, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. What's going on?
That's good, man. Well, thanks for doing it, man.
Of course. No, happy to do it. Katie talked about it a while ago, and we linked up, and you're from Hawaii, so it was really cool. And then you got moving, and here we are. And
we're here.
It'll work out for sure.
I'm back.
How do you end up in Hawaii?
Just like Ed was saying, military kid. So
my
dad was stationed there for 15 years. Yeah. So, and I went to kindergarten there, middle school, high school, and even a little bit of college. So.
Right in Honolulu?
Yeah. So I lived right across from the airport for 15 years, and then grew up at Navy Marine Golf Course. So
that was. Did you play the Clipper course at MCBH too?
Oh yeah. I played. We had a good Saturday morning game there. There's a lot of good times. I actually got my nickname, the Dude, there, which was interesting. But
that's a fun course.
Wait, did you drink White Russians?
No, I didn't do the full Dude. It was honestly, I had music on, and they yelled at me, and they were like, "Dude," and I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. I just I don't like being called Dude, which was like the stupidest response, especially with this group of guys. And they were like, "That's your nickname now, Dude." They were like, "Have you ever seen The Big Lebowski?" I was like, "Yeah, I've seen The Big Lebowski," and then that was it. So
that's funny.
Did they get your robe?
The island. No, again, I really wish they did. I was so kind of so much younger than those guys that it just the fact that I had a nickname was enough for them. So
didn't click yet, yeah.
But
well, today's round you got it in. I see the play has been suspended, but you're coming off 1 under par 70 round. Yeah.
Should be a even par 70. I think the scorer has been a bit of an issue today. They had a scoring system.
Oh, is it? So it's not a par 71.
It is a par 71.
Oh, okay. So you okay. It says 7, and then PGAtour.com, get your shit together.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not always reliable, but yeah. Did it get suspended? I haven't even gotten a.
Yeah, I think due to darkness, they really. It just keeps flashing across the screen, and I don't know if it's. I was going to say it can't be too dark.
That might be the PGA Tour event. We're still rock and rolling because it's not even 6 o'clock here. So
I was going to say, yeah, maybe I'm just not reading it correctly. Well, so how's the game? Allow me to be the Amanda Balionis and do the post round interview and be like. Well, Grant, man. So you started off with a bogey on 3, and then you reeled off 4 straight birdies. Walk us through that. No, really don't. But do players like to be interviewed after a round? Do you guys like to hash it up, or do you just want to go to the range, go to the shower? What's your post round routine?
I mean, so I go and I putt. I have putting drills that I do after every single round. First round all the way to final round. Actually, it usually ends my day in general. So that's what I always do. But if any of the media people need anything from me, they really don't even need to ask. They just kind of wave me over, and I answer whatever questions I can. I've never been super fantastic at public speaking or interviews and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of jitter around and move my hands and say a lot. But it's something that I enjoy just because it's kind of cool to kind of, I guess, look back and kind of see what I've said. And also it kind of, it almost acts like positive reinforcement because everybody has lines that they say, you know, I give it to God, or really thankful for my team, or you know, all these things, right? And so usually, if you play well, if you're getting interviewed about the round, it's usually just about, yeah, you know, I hit the ball well, and I really stuck to my game plan, and just all the normal BS, right?
Right. So was that a good round for you today? I mean, what did you get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, it was an up and down day. I hit probably 2 or 3 errant drives. The wind picked up in the afternoon, well, on the back nine. And they're out there. It's, you know, it's big, tall trees and thick pines and really thick rough. So, you know, if you're not in the fairway, you know, you're going to have issue right off the bat. And chipping was, yeah. So, but my putting and iron game were good enough to be able to bounce back with that birdie on 15 and 18 and shoot even after being 2 over. So, but
perfect. Well, and you're carrying some momentum too from Utah. T8 there. Nice finish. Yeah,
thanks, man. It was good so my family was there, and I had probably
awesome,
you know, 30 or 40 people watching, and I got to watch Hayden, you know, shoot that incredible round, and it was just a good weekend for me. It was a good, solid bogey-free Sunday, and then I didn't realize until after, but I locked up my full status for next year.
Nice.
I locked up a berth into finals, so it was pretty
Congrats.
amazing.
That's awesome, dude. Well done.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
Well done. Job security for one more year.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Just gives you one more year job security?
Yeah. So it puts me in. Okay. It puts me in full status. So I pick my schedule and I can go and do whatever I want. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I noticed it says you didn't pick up golf till a little bit later in life.
Yeah,
so
about 12 or 13. Yep, 12 or 13.
Were you into other sports before that, or? Yeah,
so I grew up playing baseball and football and basketball, but I mean, I wanted to be the next Derek Jeter. That was kind of my thing, just like any kid growing up on the hot corner or shortstop, you know. But yeah, I mean, even to this day, I would give everything to be on the diamond. So
nice.
But yeah.
So why'd you choose golf then?
Well, I didn't have really much of a choice. I hurt my arm when I was about 11 or 12, and even to this day, I can't throw anything without feeling a shooting pain down my arm. So
oh wow,
it's kind of hard to. Yeah, I've actually talked to a few pitchers about it, and they're essentially like, yeah, you basically would have needed Tommy John at you know, whatever age.
Does that pain translate to the golf swing?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Surprisingly, yeah, I don't.
Wow,
it's pretty unbelievable. Yeah.
I was going to say you rank first in driving distance, so then you're obviously there's no pain there, or else you're not hitting at 324.
So I guess you don't throw clubs when you get mad.
No, there's none of that.
None of the
Rory toss.
Yeah, exactly. And there it goes. Yeah. No, we're pretty level-headed on the golf. Well, now we are. Obviously, everybody's been in that stage, but yeah.
So what's longer, your driver or Bryson's 3-wood?
Oh, his 3-wood is. I mean, I think he'd get.
Sorry, I set you up on that one. That was
no, it's fine. I love Bryson to death. I've gotten the pleasure to play with him a couple times, and
have you?
And yeah, it was well before any of the distance stuff, but he was always open and honest about kind of what he was thinking and what he's working on, and then he put on a bunch of weight and started swinging harder, and I've kind of just been doing my thing and put on a little bit of weight for sure, but definitely haven't swung any harder. But it's kind of cool to you know, if the numbers were to translate, I guess I would be top 5 on the PGA Tour in distance, which is pretty unreal. So
where do you get your swing speed from?
Oh, it's funny you ask. I was talking to Craig Perks about that yesterday. I honestly have no idea. I mean, I went to TPI on a couple of Mondays ago with my coach and my trainer, and we sat down with Greg and Dave, and you know, they were obviously super intuitive people and very, very intelligent. Really some of the best in the game, but we got on the K-Vest, which you could kind of the kinematic sequence so it's basically how your body moves from head to toe. And with the golf swing, obviously all the power comes from the ground and it goes up, and then everything slows down really, really quick and speeds up really quick. So apparently I just am gifted and blessed to be able to time everything up the way I have. And I think as I've gotten older and stronger and my swing has gotten better, I just kind of routinely pick up distance. I mean, I was leading driving distance, I think last year, was second last year. And this year I feel like I'm hitting it further. So incrementally, I feel like I've improved for sure.
Ground forces.
Yep, exactly. That's where it's all at, man.
So what do you need to work on then to get better?
Yeah, wedges, putter, understanding the kind of mindset a lot better. I've gotten to a pretty good place where just recently in the last couple of months, I've started to play more consistent golf. And it's just the idea that you just can have to continue to work. We talked about it a lot with Greg and Dave, and the idea is that once my body is where it needs to be, which it's getting there, I need to understand that I don't need to go full speed all the time. We equate it to essentially Rory. And Rory to me is, I mean, if I had put our games together, I move the ball left to right and he moves it right to left. And that's pretty much the only differences. He and I both struggle with wedges. He and I both struggle with the putter. But we absolutely bomb it out of our shoes and can hit the flagstick from 230 yards away pretty regularly. So obviously that's a exaggeration, but you get the point. He's
Sure.
pretty deadly with his irons.
Well, that's a great comparison to have anybody on tour. I remember I always thought Rory was like too cocky, and he kind of just bugged me in his early years. Maybe that it was probably just me, but now I love the guy. He's so refreshing. He's good for the game and he's real. So I appreciate that about them. So
I've idolized him for 10, 12 years. I mean, it's to watch everything that he's gone through and everything that he's done and to essentially be, just a kid from Ireland and reaching the heights that he has. And it's incredibly, it's just incredible. I mean, and then to be, the chairman of the pack now and to see that he's giving back to the game as best he can, not just with, what he's doing, but with what he's saying. I mean, he doesn't really hold back.
Right.
He's very real, which, 5-6 years ago when he got that really big contract, everybody thought that he was going to go right back to being just like Tiger.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, well, I've got hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank. And so you guys don't exist anymore. But right. He still remember where he's come from. And I mean, not that his parents would let him do anything else, but yeah, I mean, he is one of the prime examples of exactly how to be, in and around this game for sure.
He's a pro.
I thought he had some great comments during the Olympics, just with everything going on too.
Yeah, I saw his initial kind of lack of enthusiasm, I guess, was what it was. I didn't really pay attention to the whole thing that he said, but I mean, honestly, looking at it face value, spending 12 hours at the golf course every day doesn't sound great, and I don't blame him for being candid about that. Now, having never been in the Olympics, I mean, if you had to give me an option between being in a COVID Olympics or not being in the Olympics at all, I think I'd take the COVID Olympics. And I think that's kind of where he kind of backtracked a little bit and just basically said, yeah, it was kind of, I was too hasty in what I said, and this was a great opportunity, and I'm so thankful for it. Unlike, a lot of other athletes have over the years with regards to uncomfortable situations.
Right.
But
do you have a tiny head like he does? Because apparently he only wears dad hats because Nike knows his head size. And I never knew this about Rory, because he was asked, Rory, why don't you wear hats during like these team competitions? He's like, well, I got a pinhead. So I wear, I don't wear
They
a
don't
hat.
make, yeah, they don't make me a hat.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's proof that he wasn't on any testosterone or HGH,
Yeah, there you go.
before, because his head size didn't grow. But no, I think I'm pretty average across the board. I wear a medium glove, 9.5 shoe, and and
Five,
medium shirt like all the other guys, 5'10",
5'10",
175,
165. Is that true?
yeah, 175.
Oh, there's the weight gain.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Can,
yeah. I
can you?
was 135 a couple years ago, but
Ooh, there you go. There's where the distance comes from, because you ain't hitting at 324 at 135. Let's just be honest.
15. Yeah.
Yeah, three. Okay, so you gain 9 yards. So
10 pounds for 10 yards.
all right, I stand corrected. So can you learn a style of play? Like, let's just stay on the Rory topic here. You said you kind of mimic yourself, or you idolize your swing after him, and you guys are very similar. So do players learn that style? Do you want to look at Rory and say, I want to do that? Or do you just develop it yourself? And is it just like a personality thing?
I think half the time, it's really about, like for me. I mean, I can't really speak about anybody else. I mean, and again, I mean, Dustin's another guy that absolutely bombs it and really didn't become who he is now until he lined up all the wedges. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's done. I mean, it's the basically nearly decade of dominance that he's had is been great. Now, obviously, with regards to Rory, I mean, just his whole demeanor. I mean, the idea that he's got confidence, he locks in when he needs to lock in, but other than that, he's got a smile on his face. And he's a smiling assassin. I mean, it's unbelievable what the guy does. And he's also not shut off. So like, he's always been like real. And so there's not really a question about what he's thinking, because he's going to tell you. But I think as far as the style of game, I mean, if you talk about putting and you want to go look at who's the best putter in the world, and you bring out Brad Faxon or Tiger or Steve Stricker, and it's like, well, I want to learn how to putt. I want to take stuff from those guys and learn how to putt better. Okay, let's do that. Wedges, it's Steve Stricker, Zach Johnson, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, all these guys that are incredible wedge players. You just take pieces and go, okay, I want to go do that. And then it just moves up the rest of the game. But to say that it's possible to model your game exactly like somebody else's, I don't think that that's possible. I don't think that I don't think anybody could ever hit the driver the way Rory does. I don't think anybody could putt the exact same way that Brad Faxon or Steve Stricker or any of those guys have, and all the guys that I mentioned before. I mean, just look at some of the people that are out on this tour today. I mean, you got guys that are 50 years old and grinding to guys that are 22 and got their tour card. And then if you ask them, they're as unique as anybody else is. So,
What do you think what's the weakness in your game? Is it the wedges, like you said?
oh, definitely. So I'm continuing to get better at them. I definitely have improved. I work every single day on them. It's not something that I look at and go, I can get by without working on it. It's like, well, yeah, you can get by. You may be able to get to the PGA Tour, but what you could do versus, right, like what you know for a fact what you're going to do versus what you may be able to do is two different things.
Right.
I know for a fact that if I work on my wedges and I work on my putting every single day, I can become the best player in the world. I'm guessing that if I don't do it, I may or may not be able to make it to the PGA Tour. And so it's not a gamble I don't think anybody would be willing to take.
What's a stock shot for you? Fade, draw? What's your comfortable? Got to get it in the middle.
I'll fade it off the tee most of the time. If you ask me to hit a fade with a driver, it's going to be the easiest thing in the world. But yeah, I mean, the funny thing is where we're at right now. It's I can fade it when I want to, and I can draw it when I want to. But a fade seems to be a little bit easier to do, so it kind of changes all the time. But if you ask me to hit a cut 7-iron from 195 yards to a back right pin, I'll hit cut 7-iron, no problem. If you ask me to hit me to draw 7-iron, I might have a little bit of an issue with it. It might be 25 feet rather than 10 feet.
Right. And a fade going 324. That's sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not terrible. For sure.
It's good. You played with you played with Kevin Lucas, and he's actually been on the pod here before. And he had a great round. I think he's tied for the lead right now. I haven't looked at the updated leaderboard yet. How much do you feed off each other? You know, like the good vibes. If you know the guy, if you played with him before, if you see him playing well, do you feed off him? Do you feed off anybody that's playing well?
I think, so last week was a perfect example. I was playing with Hayden, and Hayden and I have known each other for a few years now. We were both up in Canada. We both have kind of grinded. Obviously, Hayden's been extremely successful. But I mean, with Kevin, I mean, he was just hooping everything. And most of the time, I'm getting him by 20, 30, 40 yards. And so we're just really not ever near each other. And quite honestly, if I get along with the guy, I mean, it's definitely a lot easier to feed off each other. I mean, last week, like I said, with Hayden, I was surprised we didn't see a camera until 18. Because I mean, I think we shot 14 under best ball, which is unbelievable. I don't think there's anybody else on the planet that was going to beat us that day. And I mean, he obviously rocketed up the leaderboard, and I played well enough to get a top 10. But afterwards, having not played a final round together and not played a final round like that, well, in my career, I've never played a final. Well, that's not true. I've played a couple, but never to that point where we both were playing really, really well. And Hayden looked at me afterwards in the scoring tent. He was like, dude, that was unbelievable. Like we were both just so thankful for the opportunity. And it was so cool to witness everything. And that's kind of why, if you watch, I think one of the highlights that they caught was kind of us embracing it after he hold that putt on 18, or after I hold my putt on 18. And to just kind of see all the emotion and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if I could have that over again and have that for every 4 days of a tournament, I think I'd win by 10 in every event.
Now, does your feeding off of and your atmosphere with another player, does that change from Thursday to Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, especially this week. So, with Kevin and Will, both great guys, but they're both lower on the list than I am, and essentially have to win in order to get inside the top 75. I'm looking at this week just being excited to play. While last week I was grinding my head off to make sure that I played well, both in front of my family, but also for myself, because I knew that I didn't want to come into Omaha and be like, oh, I hope I play well enough. I wanted to make sure that I was in the playoffs before I came here, because this is a extremely tough golf course. And so, yeah, I mean, coming down the stretch on Sunday, it definitely changes things. On Thursday and Friday, specifically Thursday, I mean, if you have a great group, everybody shoots 4, 5, 6 under. If you have kind of a split up group like today, kind of where everybody's kind of vibing differently, you have one guy that shoots well because he was putting the eyes out, and then you have the other 2 guys that kind of just didn't get anything started. So, it's just kind of how that goes. But yeah, I mean, it definitely changes. I mean, coming down the stretch on Sunday, I'm not gonna, if I don't like you, I'm not talking to you. So
yeah,
it's just that simple. I'm going to try to beat you until you can't see anymore. So,
Brent, I love it. Out for blood, man. This is great. You got one of those good golf heads on your shoulders, I like to call it. You have a lot of passion in your voice, and you have obviously the talent to do it. So yeah, that's, I think, 2 of the things that everybody says, well, if I work so hard, but if you're really not talented enough, I don't think you will really go that far. And I think that's kind of maybe not misunderstood, but maybe misunderestimated. Like, I'm going to go to the range 8 hours a day, and I'm going to make it on tour. Me and Mike are going to go hit balls for 10 hours a day, and I'll see you on tour in 5 years. I'm not talented enough to be on tour in 5 years. So
Hey, speak for yourself.
I've seen you hit the ball, Mike. So We're better behind the mic than behind the tee. But so you guys
That's a
have,
good point though.
yeah. But I don't think a lot of golfers or maybe even average guys will admit that to themselves or just in general.
Like it depends on what you're talking about, right? So like if you like people like us, right? That in this specific situation, you got average golfers that are have great personalities and incredibly intelligent people, and then you've got a really good golfer that's basically just beginning his career. That's all that's got a ton of fire and passion and all that stuff. But then if you go ask the average zero handicap at any club, and if that club has professionals at it, they'll be humbled enough to understand that that's not ever going to happen for them. Now, if it's a zero at your local public course and they play with the same guys all the time and they beat the living crap out of them, they probably, and if they're anywhere from 25 to 35, they will probably not have a full understanding unless they were to play with me, basically, is essentially when they understand, I hit it far, I average probably 10, 15, 20 yards past the guys I play with. Well, they're hitting at 240 and you're hitting at 260. I hit it 320. So it's like, it's a little, when I'm driving the green and you're hitting an 8-iron, then you understand that it's a little bit of a different story.
That's that fine line that we like to call.
Yeah, exactly. Fine line.
Just
That's
a
kinda,
little, yeah. You see what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So you have
sure.
you have three more events this year on the schedule. Are you playing? Are you going to play Boise, Columbus, and then Newborough?
We've got Boise, and I've got friends, really close friends up there. I got to get some revenge on that golf course.
Yeah, you do.
I'm hoping for some good weather, because the golf course is built for me. So it's a lot like Utah.
It's so short too. I mean, if I can break 80, Grant, you can break 65.
Oh yeah, I agree, 100%. I mean, it's not a golf course that you can necessarily overpower, but you can definitely use the power to your advantage and basically have iron in on every par 5 and drive a couple of greens.
Oh yeah.
There are guys. I mean, there are guys out on tour. I mean, Taylor Pendrith is one of them that can overpower that golf course, but I don't quite have that extra gear where if I want to pull out 350, I can just hit it 350. So, but yeah, I'm excited. And then Ohio, I'm really excited to go back there. I've got really fortunate to have really close friends there, and they've been amassing fans all year, waiting for me to punch my ticket. I punched it, and I got phone calls upon phone calls afterwards, and again, hoping for some good weather because that golf course is phenomenal. And then I mean, Victoria National. I mean, who wouldn't be excited to go play that? Again, I can't say it enough. Hoping for some good weather because the Midwest is getting absolutely hammered right now. But yeah, man, it's going to be a great opportunity. I got told that apparently I can still get pretty damn good status by making it pretty high in those points ranking in those 3 events. So the goal is to get what I can out of this week, do what I got to do, but set my sights on absolutely destroying each golf course when I get there.
I love it. Well, we're from Boise. Mike is in Boise right now.
So hopefully, Mike is are we looking at some good stuff? I mean, are we bringing the whole crew out? What's going on, man?
Oh, we can bring, my crew's not very big, but I mean, the weather has been good though. It's been pretty warm. This week it cooled down a little bit into like the low 90s, but no crazy wind, no nothing, no rain really. So you should have some pretty clear weather.
Gosh, if I honestly knew that it was next weekend, I may have flown in.
It's not, what is it, 19th through 22nd?
Oh, sorry, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
day do you show up? What day do you show up for that?
So, assuming I do what I need to do tomorrow and not MC Hammer, I'll be there hopefully Monday afternoon and getting my 18-hole practice round in on Tuesday and maybe playing in the Pro-Am on Wednesday. But Yeah, getting ready to get after it.
I almost got on the Pro-Am one year. Didn't make it.
Golf course is so much fun.
It is a fun course. I had a buddy that worked there for a couple of years, and I'd take a couple Mondays off work. We'd go play it. It's always in great shape.
Range is built for midgets.
That range is weird.
That range is so weird. They haven't changed it, huh? Obviously. Yeah, it's
so bad.
No,
You guys hit from the bottom end of the hill, don't you though? Or do you guys hit from up top?
Bottom end of that. We hit from up top. Yeah.
Okay.
So we go all the way across, pretty much all the way across the top, from what I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, we
like
weren't
6 irons through.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to hit drivers or anything. So
what's your pre-tournament routine? Do you stick to a set schedule for yourself? Show up 2 hours before your tee time and putting, chipping, then range, 5-8 irons, 5-9 irons, whatever it may be. What's yours?
It's definitely not that regimented, but I mean, so pre-tournament round, like today, for example, it's usually a couple hours before, get a meal in, get a good stretch in, and basically be out of the clubhouse with an hour left. Obviously, if there's a bit of a shuttle or whatever like that, it's a little bit longer than that. But usually I'll go straight to putting, and I'll putt for a little while, then I'll pitch for a little while just to warm up, and then I'll get right to the range and start with my 54 degree and go every other club all the way up to driver. And depending on what I have to do, like for example, playing Boise, it's pretty much drivers all the way around. So I'll hit a couple irons off the tee, a couple 3-woods off the tee. But other than that, I'm absolutely ripping driver. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to do that at Boise, but
yeah,
if I could, that's what I would do. But so
I heard Pat Perez was on a podcast the other day, and he said that golf courses are too short or too easy. Your thoughts?
Versus like ours or the tours?
Just on tour, yeah. Like he said, guys are going, like, if you don't shoot 20 under every week, then you're not gonna even sniff, top 10. Our golf course is too easy.
I mean, I think on my tour, I mean, in general, I mean, the PGA Tour makes it look pretty easy, but I mean, you got to understand that, one, most of the time it's perfect weather. 2, everything is dialed into where they need it to be, including the greens, and the hole locations are most always the same. The bunker consistency, the rough, the fairways, and so and not to mention these guys are the best in the world. So I mean, it doesn't matter how hard the golf course is. If you give them soft enough conditions, they're going to shoot low. I mean, what was it? We had a U.S. Open. What was it? Oakmont, whatever it was. I mean, Dustin went pretty low there. I mean, that's one of the hardest golf courses on the planet, and he still played, pretty deep, further under par than what you would for a normal U.S. Open, i.e., even par. But yeah, I mean, on my tour, and Pat's had some experience out here. Obviously, he knows a bunch of guys that are out here. I'm sure he pays attention. But yeah, I mean, the last 3 events, if you didn't shoot 20 under par, you weren't inside the top 10. I mean, I shot 19, was inside the top 10, but I mean, okay, so if I don't shoot 18 under par,
Right.
I'm outside the top 10. But it's yeah, I mean, but it's the same conversation that we've been having for a few years, ever since Tiger started to really kill it. And it was just like, so what do we do? And it's like, well, tuck the pins 3 instead of 5, grow the rough, speed up the fairways and the greens. Okay, well, that's a little bit difficult to do with only 2 weeks of preparation on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can't do that. So on the PGA Tour, they do it. Well, the ratings dropped when the U.S. Open was playing too difficult. Okay, well, we can't do that. So it's just like, I think Pat was saying, basically, listen, like, it's not that the golf courses are too easy. I think they get set up too easy. But again, I mean, but you still have guys, even at the Sony. I mean, even at the Sony Open, you had, I mean, the two that I played, I watched guys shoot 5, 6, 7, 8 over par in 2 days,
Yeah.
and it was not difficult. And the winner was at 26.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's not, I mean, you know, for Pat, I mean, obviously, you know, being as experienced as he's won on tour, you know, I don't know him personally, but I'm assuming it's just simply, listen, dude, like make it more difficult.
Yeah.
Just make it more difficult.
Well, and you're not going to please everybody, you know, because you have the old guys like, make it tough. We want to see them struggle, you know. But then it's like, well, birdies means ratings, and like with baseball, everybody loves to see home runs, not base hits. So, yeah.
I'm old school. So for me, a golf tournament is very, very interesting. I hate watching golf. I can't stand it.
Oh,
It's incredibly boring for me because I'm just like, I can do that.
Why am I not on TV?
Well, no, but like that's essentially what it is. It's just like, okay, well, like if I was in that position, I'd hit it to 10 feet pin high and make the putt too if everything was perfect. And it's like, well, you know, but again, right. And this kind of goes back to the idea that if I'm just a fan, I don't like watching golf because I think that golf is a hard sport and we're making it look easy for the ratings. Not that these guys aren't incredible. Obviously they are. Everybody can agree with that. But to sit there and say that, oh, okay, well, you know, we're going to go play Memorial, and the winner is going to be 14 under par. Okay, we can do that. But then we're going to go play, what is it, at TPC Craig Ranch, Byron Nelson, which used to be at TPC Las Colinas, which was a very difficult golf course, and nobody liked to play there because it was so difficult. So it's like you have players that love to play the hard courses, and then you have players that hate them. And then you have people that, so it's like it's the same with the fans too. So it's just like you were saying, you just can't please everybody. So, I mean, what the PGA Tour is doing is doing what's best for them. And quite frankly, they wouldn't have $40 million to spend on social media tournaments, unless they were doing something right. So.
I love that answer. You're the first guy that we've had on that says you hate watching golf. And it's so great.
I mean, but it makes sense at your level. I mean, you're like, I can do all that stuff. So what do you think what separates the guys, you know, getting all the TV time on the PGA Tour and the good guys on the Korn Ferry Tour? Is it just half a stroke, luck, you know, being in the right place, right time, or?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to quantify it for you, it's a half a stroke, but a half a stroke over an entire year, you know, that's a lot. You know,
right.
if you asked me that if I could get a half a stroke from every single golf tournament, and at the end of that would be 10 shots. Well, if I could go 10 shots, I would have won 4 events. So, yeah, I mean that's pretty incredible. So that's one extra tournament than what I would need to get to the PGA Tour alone, which Mito Pereira has already done. So obviously the gap is forever tightening, and so. What was great was so Tony Finau and Daniel Summerhays were out at the Monday Pro-Am last week and for Tony's foundation and Tony was talking about us and how we're, you know, the next generation. And what was amazing is his some people I can, you know, you can always tell if it's just kind of, oh yeah, they're the next generation of golf. But he was like, listen guys, you don't understand what these guys are. You don't understand because you don't see them day in and day out. He's like, these are the people that I was in their shoes, right? I was on Big Break. I was on the web.com tour and you know, and all these things. And he watches every single person that comes off the tour because he's a huge supporter of it. But I mean, this class that's coming up this year, and I hope to be a part of it, I mean, is so ready, it's not even funny. And the crazy thing is we have a mix of rookies, we have a mix of veterans, you know, guys that are returning, guys that have been, you know, kind of forever journeymen. It's pretty unbelievable. I mean, sure, a half shot, but to be more specific, I mean, it's getting tighter. If you ask me the difference between Dustin Johnson and myself, It's a wedge game. That's pretty much it.
Right.
And just make the experience work. And if I'm not mistaken, he's in his 30s and I'm 25. So in 10 years, we can have this conversation again and go, so Brent, what'd you work on for the last 10 years? I said, well, wedges. Well, that's why you're the number one player in the world.
Book it.
So it's like,
Book it.
well, it's just that simple, right?
I'll check my
August
calendar. We're
20
going to go ahead and put you down.
August 2031, Brent, you are coming back on in. So how has golf changed your life?
It's made me who I am. It's really that simple. I developed a relationship with my father that I didn't really have. I developed a relationship with mentors and people that I would go to hell and back for. I've transformed in from a impatient, dishonest, disloyal individual to something a little better than that. But yeah, I mean, it's given me all the opportunity that I could ever ask for. It's been the shining example that the guys that have come before me have set. Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, Tiger, Payne Stewart, all these guys that my dad, idolized and I idolize. It brought me here, and it's so cool to meet people day in and day out. I mean, I've met people through golf that even my own father would kind of step aside to and give them the way. People, Marines, Navy SEALs, admirals and generals and people that are the most intimidating people on the planet to me. And I get to call them my friend and get to learn from them. And so, yeah, I mean, it's truly made me who I am in every sense of the term.
That was the correct answer, by the way.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I was going to say, you know what? It's just giving me the opportunity to travel and, hook up with whoever I want. Yeah. It's just
stop with the perspective there, Brent. Too much perspective for this podcast.
That's for Rough Fairways after hours.
This is Rough Fairways after hours.
After dark.
I had
the blue light's still on. So,
So when did you know you were good?
Like, what do you mean good?
Good, like good at golf. Like when did you know you could play professionally? That's
the difference.
Give me your aha moment. Like you're on the course, or you just like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this game. I can play professionally and go beat these guys' brains in.
So, it's so funny because the story is not a long one, and it's not some incredible, kind of. It was an aha moment, but it was something that was more of like, so I'm playing a practice round and my dad's on the bag, and I'm playing a practice round with Anirban, Lahiri, and Ken Duke, my first Sony Open in 2017, and I was 20 years old. And Ken Duke, even today, is touted as basically the best journeyman of all time. I would think of him as that. I mean, he's not just an incredible golfer, but he's an incredible human being. And I'm really glad that I got to run into him a couple times over the last couple of years. But so, we're walking down and Anirban and I, obviously Srixon guys, and we're talking about that. And then Ken just kind of pulls me aside. We're like halfway through the front nine. And he goes, so what's your plan? I go, Mr. Duke, honestly, I'm thinking about going back to school, thinking about work. I was working full time at this time, and all these things had happened, and I had made it to the USAM before this and had won a bunch of tournaments, but the turning professional to me, especially coming from Hawaii, was that like, dude, like, unless you're literally winning professional events, like without issue, you don't deserve to be on tour, let alone even think about it. So, and to me, I hadn't developed the work ethic anywhere near the work ethic and didn't think I had the resources to do any of the things that I've done. But he pulls me aside and he goes, well, listen, son, if you step to every single shot the way that you stepped up on that first tee, you're going to make it on tour in no time. And the way I stepped up on that first tee was I put that peg in the ground. I absolutely nuked it. I mean, it was 340, 350 right down the center. And I had no feelings about other than just wanting to smack the shit out of it. And that's exactly what he was getting at. And after that, it took me probably a month and a half to decide to play in my first professional event. And I turned pro, and the rest is semi-history.
It sounds like Duke instilled confidence in you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was the first guy that came from the PGA Tour first, in what is now a pretty in-depth group of people from all different parts of the tour, that said, listen, like, dude, you've got it.
Yeah.
You've got it. And this was, I had a homegrown swing. I had my dad on the bag. You know, I was a kid and still am. And for him to pull me aside, not just in passing, hey man, you know, I'll see you on tour, like, you know, kind of like the not condescending, but kind of like the pat on the head thing. It was, no, you're going to be there. And since then I've had, I mean, probably just to name a few, Johnson Wagner, Robert Garrigus, Phil Mickelson, you know, some pretty incredible players that I've gotten to play with that have all been like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Like Johnson. So he goes, I was talking to him about making cuts. He goes, get off the fucking cut line. And I'm like,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
And he said it a few times, and
Plain and dry.
And it was literally that simple. I said, so we talked about a bunch of things. He's like, dude, like, he said it so nonchalant. He was just like, dude, like, you've got it. I've played with every player that you can think of. I've played with Tiger. I've played with Roy. I've played with Dustin. I've played with all these guys. You're just as good. Just get off the fucking cut line.
Perfect.
It was just, okay, yes, sir. And so, you know, a year later.
So did you?
Yeah, a year later.
Okay.
You know, I battled a lot of things coming out of COVID. My body had changed a lot. I was in a transitionary period just with life in general, like everybody was. But yeah, I mean, I learned so much from getting my ass kicked, and then I still am. I mean, even today, you know, and I will continue to do that. Mark my words. And it was one of those things. And then I played with Phil this last winter, and I played a bunch with Kevin Doherty and John Chen, and I learned so much from those guys. And Tom Pernice has been Tom Pernice is a mentor of mine and a good friend. I said the same thing. I mean, he sat on the back of the range at Silverleaf during the off season. He goes, dude, there's no reason why you shouldn't shoot 67, 66 every day. It's like, you hit it better than anybody I've ever seen. And, you know, and coming from Tom, because I've listened to him for so long, it kind of went in one ear out of the other, but he kept kind of on it. And I just was like, between, you know, just kind of to not to BS you guys, but it just, to me, it was just like, well, fuck, man, just do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different,
do it.
That's a totally different mentality of how do I make the weekend to, you shouldn't even be worried about that. You should be on your top 10.
Brent, do you keep your phone on your person when you're playing golf?
It's not in my bag.
Okay. So if tomorrow,
right
if you're near the cut, I'm going to text you.
And
I'm just going to say, get off the fucking cut line.
The fucking cut line.
So I
Well,
need you to check your phone from hole to hole. And if you're near the cut line, if you see that text from me, you know what it's going to say.
100%. And you know what? Here's the deal. So I think I'm T40 something right now, or T50 something. I don't even know. But this was exactly how I started last year. And tomorrow I'm going to go out and do what I got to do, and I'm going to make the cut, and then I'm going to play well on the weekend, and then I'll do what I need to do. But it's so crazy that you say that. But yeah,
Do you care about like if you do early, late, late, early? Does that even matter?
I
to you?
prefer late early. Yeah,
do?
I prefer
Why?
late early. Yeah. So late early means that I can practice as long as I want on Wednesday.
All right.
And it's not rushed.
Yeah.
Part of the routine for me is that I can go in fifth gear for a really long time. And I can if I need to hit it into sixth, with 9 holes to play on Friday, I can put it into sixth. But to ask me to go from eighth gear all the way back down to neutral and then right back up to eighth gear again is a bit more difficult. But now, as I say that, obviously 24 hours of rest is never a bad thing.
For sure.
And considering what I got to go do and with the injury and all that stuff, I definitely appreciate being able to kind of sit down and call my dad or anything like that and after a round and kind of be able to make plans for tonight or whatever, and to just really stroll into at noon tomorrow and at the course and just be all right, I'm gonna have my lunch and get prepared and all that stuff, when normally it's I gotta get up at 5 and
Sure.
I like to sleep at 11, and it's like a little bit of a different story. So
Are you a leaderboard watcher?
sometimes I've gotten so used to it now that I'm just like, that's cool, like, oh, it's awesome that guy played good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, that dude freaking lit it up, or oh, what happened to that guy, and then it just gets my mind off whatever I'm doing. But usually I'm pretty locked in. If I glance at it, and I see something I don't like, I usually kind of flush it out of my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody looks at it at one time or another. It's as everybody would like to say, as laser focused as I am, and that's cool. Like, yeah, sure you are all the time.
Cliche BS.
Yeah, I love all that. That's great.
All right, Mike and I have some quick hitters for you.
Yeah, man.
Brent Grant, the quick hitters for you are, what was the last shot that gave you nightmares?
Last shot that gave me nightmares. There's a putt last year at TPC Sawgrass, 9-footer right up the hill to make the cut, and I read it correctly the first time, changed the read, and missed the cut. First tournament out of COVID. That one sucked.
How many hours a day do you practice?
Hours a day, off week or on week?
Give me both.
Both. Off week, it's probably 3 to 7, depending on how I feel. Obviously, with the wrist and stuff, we've got to manage that. But on week, it's 2 to 4.
What since you hate watching golf, what's your favorite sport to watch?
Baseball, which
Favorite
is what
team?
he has back.
Yeah, Field of
I-
Dreams.
Iowa game.
Well, I think I know the answer to this. What's the best advice you ever received from a fellow pro?
Best advice. Yeah. Get off the fucking cut line is probably the most.
That's my favorite.
It's my favorite, but it's the one that sticks, because I mean, everybody, a lot of times pros won't necessarily give you a one-liner like that. They'll kind of just give you, oh yeah, you've got what it takes or stuff like that. But that was pretty straightforward. So it's kind of tough to beat that.
What's the TV show that you're watching right now?
Peaky Blinders.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, Peaky Blinders.
Rewatching it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I keep seeing all these memes with Tommy Shelby on them, and they're about like being a lone wolf and all that stuff, and all these super what's the phrase, motivational stuff, and it's cute that people equate him to that when they would never ever think of trying to be that way. But
right. Who would play you in your movie?
oh, Jesus.
I have an
never get a
answer
movie,
for this,
first
by
of
the
all.
way.
Is it so somebody right now that would, so apparently Clint Eastwood's son and I
Oh, I need to
have
Google
a
that right now.
similar
Yeah, I can
have
see
a
that.
similar, yeah, we have a similar kind of build and kind of face structure. Obviously, he's Clint Eastwood's son, so he's way better looking than I am. But that's the point.
Oh, I see that. Well,
Um,
hey, that's
yeah, you know,
yeah.
It's Scott. What's his name?
I
Scott,
don't
I
know.
think, yeah,
Scott.
I think it's
Scott
Scott
Eastwood.
Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think.
see.
I mean, the reason why I say that is because somebody said that to me once. I couldn't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Sure.
Have you ever
Well,
gotten?
Eastwood's a big golfer, so
Have you ever gotten Tom Cruise?
It's funny. If you guys saw my dad, you would think that they're brothers. When I throw a pair of aviators on and my hair is long enough, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
you go inverted.
You go inverted. Wait, do you play? Do you have a goose? Is he your goose? Do you guys play beach volleyball?
I wish. Actually, the funny thing is my best friend is a lot taller and bigger than I am, although Goose was skinny. But we quote Top Gun all the time, and Top Gun is actually the reason why my dad joined the Navy. So funny enough.
Ah.
So,
Who have you not played with that you want to play with?
Rory. I've never played with Rory. To play 9 holes with the guy would be unbelievable.
So you go back to when you don't like to watch golf because you're like, I could do that. So is he, I mean, you'd just be starstruck and off your game. I mean, would that just totally throw you out or?
No, so I think the first little bit, I mean, I played with Phil, and obviously Phil's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
The first time I played with him, it was a bit, off, but I still played well. I think I shot, 5-6 under par. But if I was playing with Rory, I don't even think I would care about how I was playing. Obviously, if it was a tournament, it'd be a little bit different. But if we tee it up at Medalist or TPC Scottsdale, it's like, dude, like this is going to be a great time. And I would probably play well, and he would probably kick my ass, but who cares?
All right, these are rapid fire, so just go real quick, okay?
All right, I'm gonna try.
Favorite club in your bag?
Driver.
That doesn't surprise me. Dog leg left or right?
Dog leg right.
Front pin or back pin?
Front pin.
Play one course forever. Which is it?
Brookline. TCC.
Oh, nice. Play in the wind or rain? You got to play in one.
Wind.
I hate the wind.
I love it.
300 yard hole. Water guards the green. Go for it or lay up.
Go for it.
Yeah, of course. Play golf with anyone. Anyone in the world. Who would you want to play golf with?
Anyone in the world. Jack Nicklaus.
There you go.
Nice.
Mike.
Alive or dead?
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah, you can do that.
Well, Payne's, yeah. So Arnold Palmer would probably be the guy that I'd.
And then did I just hear Payne
I
Stewart
could.
as well?
Yeah.
Payne's the
probably.
man. He's the man.
Yeah.
All right. This is
Change
Mike's.
one. Yeah,
this is
mine.
This is Mike's favorite question.
You get to
Oh,
change
God.
one
it's-
rule
Yep.
in golf. What would it be?
One rule of golf.
And there is a wrong.
You didn't
and
think
right
we were
answer
going to
to
ask you
this.
about rules, did you? Oh, we got rules.
That's fine. We can go all day about rules. I ask questions all the time when guys get interesting rulings. If I could change one rule, it would be that you could make a practice swing at a bunker. I think it's pretty stupid that
Wait, and
you
hit the
could
sand?
and hit the sand.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay,
I think
got it.
it's
Okay.
I think considering that the hazard is man-made and that it's maintained differently, and half the time you get into the bunker and you can dig in and there's 3 inches of sand and then next to the ball there's no sand. I mean, that's ridiculous. At least in a water hazard, there's water. You got to hit the ball. Like, you understand the depth of the grass and stuff. But in sand, it's just. But that's part of the game, and I can obviously understand.
I'll
But
allow
was
that.
what
The
I would
answer
wish
we were
done.
looking for, though, was divots in the fairway.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
What's your
That's another
stance?
tough one. That's another tough one. So if
Well,
we
actually, you
could
probably just hit it
move the
further
ball-
than all the divots.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, let's be honest,
part of
Brent.
yeah.
That's all you have to
So
say to me.
I deal with the fact that they don't maintain where I hit the ball very well. So
Perfect.
a lot of times, like today on number 12, for example, I hit it in down the middle of the fairway and was in a hole and ended up making double. So but if I would have preferred a divot, because at least then I would have known that the ball would have come out low. I can hit it one-handed, just hit it and drop the club.
Yep.
But yeah, sometimes I mean, guys get pretty steep. So I mean, and for me, if I get it into the end of a divot, I'm like, if I hit this ball, I'm going to rip my wrist apart. And so I just the moment is like, I'm really glad I'm not right there. So divot in the fairways, but you're not in a divot as many times as you're in a bunker.
Oh sure, yeah. I just hate you hit a good drive and you're in someone's excavation mark.
Sure. 100%. Yeah. One is definitely easier to change than the other. I think the bunker thing is stupid, but I just would prefer, because I play a lot of inconsistent bunkers. But the divot thing, player safety and all that other stuff. I mean, one guy had a good lie in that part of the fairway and the other one didn't, because the other guy took that lie out.
Right. Well, that's, I mean,
so you could fix the ball mark.
You can you fix your pitch marks on the green, you rake a bunker. Why can't you have a good lie in the fairway?
100%.
Should just be lift clean in place 100%. And they're closer to the hole.
Yeah. No.
Golf should just be lift clean in place in general, for me at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, if
that was a joke, Brent.
Lift clean in place on top of the rough.
On top, just
absolutely.
With the knee thing, it's so dainty.
So weird. Just say you're taking relief.
Yeah.
The other guys are halfway across the fairway. They're not going to see. I dropped it forward. I'm just going to place it now.
So links course or tree line?
Oh, making them think.
That's really tough. Tree line, because I hit the ball really straight.
Nice.
3 club bag. You got to go low. What do you put in the bag?
Oh, driver, 7-iron, putter. Come on.
Bam.
I'm surprised with your length you wouldn't go 4-iron, 5-iron, and then.
I can par the whole back 9 with a 7-iron. You ever done that?
Brent,
that's fair.
Well, Brent, but so if we ever play golf together, and I hope we do, I'm going to speak to the greenskeeper that day and have him put all the pins left side of the green, since you cannot draw it with your 7-iron.
Okay.
And you get to bring your putter, your 7-iron, and your driver. Done. How many strokes? How many?
We're playing 4 tee boxes up.
And I'm playing 4. I'm playing at least 3 tee boxes up. How many strokes do I get?
You got your tee boxes. That's all you got.
That's it. Damn, you're ruthless. You're ruthless. That was basically telling me to get off the fucking gut.
Exactly. One of my oldest friends, he said, I don't give strokes, go hit the range.
I love it.
Eh?
That's good old.
I don't give strokes, hit the range. That's perfect to leave it off of, Brent. Dude, good luck tomorrow, man. And be watching for that phone, because if you're near that cut line, you're getting that text.
Roger that.
Well, and if you're not superstitious, you get the podcast bump every time someone's on. They do well right after, so
it's very true.
Well, then it will be what it will be. Love it.
Awesome, Brent. Good luck for the rest of the year. We'll be in touch. Okay.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, guys.
Get Brent.
Later, dude.
Later.
See ya. Rough Fairways is produced by Eddie Dunn and Mike Sells. Our thanks again to Brent Grant. If you happen to live in one of the cities of the Korn Ferry Tour playoffs, go check him out and see how to hit the long ball. Special thanks goes to Katie Kuzma of Kuzma Sports for setting up that interview. And as always, you, the listener, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for your patience. We are back, and it feels great. For Mike, I am Eddie. We are Rough Fairways. And don't forget, be kind to each other.